Hi everyone, and welcome to this Team Parker press conference ahead of the big world title fight next Saturday night at Principality Stadium. My name is Craig Stanaway, the media director for Duco Events and also Team Parker. To my left is Kevin Barry, Joseph Parker's trainer. The WBO champion Joseph Parker is next to him, and our promoter David Higgins is on the end. The format today is pretty simple. We're going to open it up very, very quickly. We really appreciate what the media has done to promote this fight for us. Since the 15th of January, when this fight was announced, I think you'd agree, we've almost said yes to every one of your media requests. And I want to take particular credit and pay tribute to Kevin's wife Tanya, who's in here today, because she's had to put up with a lot of your crews coming to Las Vegas and going into their house and doing all the media, and you've got some great stories out of it. So thank you for Tanya for allowing that, but also thank you to the media that came to Las Vegas. Win, lose or draw next week, we anticipate that we want to keep a very strong working relationship with you guys. We very much appreciate what you do and we respect you, and that's the reason why we're starting at 10 o'clock this morning, dead on time, because in a previous life I used to have a job like yours and I know how hard it is when people turn up late. The number one question we get asked is, are we nervous? Now, Kevin, a couple of years ago, was with David Tua, who fought Lennox Lewis, and Kevin told us when we went on this journey that to embrace the moment. So we are embracing the moment, and when you guys talk, you're going to see none of us are nervous. Joseph, are you nervous? This is the number one question you get asked. Are you nervous?
Do I look nervous?
No, you don't.
I'm ready.
You ready? Kevin, are you nervous?
We're very excited. We've been waiting for this day for a long, long time. We're well prepared and really enjoying the moment.
David, are you nervous?
It's the calm before the storm, and so much hard work went into it that we're quite enjoying this end of the event.
So that won't change for the rest of the week. We have been trying to get to this moment for so long. We're going to love the next week, and we're thrilled that you're on the journey with us. We're going to open it up to questions. I will start with one question to Joe, and then I'm going to open it up. The format will be that Joe will do top table, and then at the conclusion of top table, we're going to take him away. Kevin and David are available for one-on-ones, as is Malik Scott, who is here somewhere. There he is. Malik has been sparring with Joseph, and he'll be able to give you a unique perspective on what's been going on in camp. Joseph, how has camp been since you arrived? Back there was about the 16th of January.
Yeah, firstly, hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. We're very excited to be here in London. We're excited for the fight ahead, March 31. The last time I was here to announce the fight, press conference, and meet AJ for the first time, meet Anthony for the first time. And it's when we left to go back to Vegas, I was fully focused on what I had to do to prepare for this major event, for this big fight. And our team has done a tremendous job with the structure that we had in camp. We have Kevin training me, we have Tanya making my meals, Taylor Barry helping out my parents back home. So everyone's done a great job to get me into the best shape that I've ever been in. And I feel like I am in the best shape. I think you guys can tell with my face being a bit skinnier than the last time I was here. And also I'm starting to see some abs come along, which is a very good sign. I'm excited to be here. It's a challenge fighting another undefeated fighter who we respect a lot, and we respect his power and what he's achieved in boxing and what their team has achieved on this side of the world. But we're ready for the challenge. We're here to make our mark, and we're here to take this belt back to New Zealand and Samoa.
So in the words of our promoter yesterday, David Higgins, we're an open book. I'm not going to ask any more questions. The floor is open. You can ask any question you like to anyone you like. Joy.
With the surgery, I think Kevin mentioned, or Kevin sort of broke it down yesterday, that we tried to schedule in a surgery numerous times, but opportunities came up which we pushed it back, and then probably the last 2 years we've been training and fighting with not 100%. And I think we can all see with the previous fights that it wasn't really the best display that we could put on. And since the surgery, I feel there's been a lot of benefits. Like Kevin mentioned yesterday, we haven't had any troubles in camp, or we haven't really been complaining about any issues. We've been training 100% with a full body, with no injuries, and we feel like this is the best camp that we've had in a long time. And that's why we're so confident. Our team's confident in what we can achieve, and we know we're going to come here and and put on a great display and put on a great fight. It's made a big difference, you know, and I look forward to showing you guys the difference that it's made.
Would you say you were fighting at a disadvantage in the last 2 years? Did you also have some problems with your shoulders and maybe?
Yeah, we've had problems with elbows and shoulders. I think Kim can touch more on that.
Look, I think you'll find that most professional athletes, it doesn't matter what sport, right across the board, you know, deal with injuries. When you're pushing your body to the limit day in, day out, you're always working through some sort of issues. And yeah, we've had trouble with the shoulders, but I think the actual trouble we had with the shoulders was more related to the elbows. You know, we've dealt with this for a couple of years. I think we will all see a huge improvement on March 31 compared to what we were looking at last year. I know that the troubles that we've had in the gym, I know that the pain that Joe has had to go through on a daily basis, and quite often when we actually step back and look at it, how he was even able to achieve some of the successes that he has had are just very, very mind-boggling. You know, when the surgeon sat down and when he looked at the initial damage that was done to Joe's elbows, he said, how was he able to perform at a world elite level? But, you know, I think that speaks to the character of the man.
So having this revelation so close to the fight, do you think Joe could be out there Anthony Joshua's safe?
That could be a possibility, but I just want to let Joshua or let Anthony know that this is, you know, I'm at 100% now. So there's no problems with us. There's no complaints. I'm here to win and I'm here to take those belts. So you're going to get the full Joseph Parker now.
The double jab was something Kevin spoke a lot about yesterday. It's something you were able to do again. How much of your work does that set up? And so how significant could it be in this fight that you can do that?
Yeah, with those previous, probably 5 or 6 fights, I haven't really shown the jab that I've shown earlier on in my career. And you know, with a great coach like Kevin and telling me the jab is key on setting up our combinations and our attack phases, it's very important that I have it back now. And we're seeing it in the gym. We're seeing it every day, double jab, triple jab, sometimes 10 jabs. So there's going to be a lot of jabs, and hopefully they land at the right place. You know, the nose, the head, the chin.
A little verbal jab from Anthony Joshua the last couple of days. He said that he'd been in touch with the Vladimir Klitschko camp to get an inside track on how you perform. Kevin spoke about it yesterday, but in a way, has Vladimir Klitschko shown you the way to defeat Anthony Joshua? I mean, that's the fight that you have on a constant loop in your gym.
Yeah, with that fight, we have it playing in the gym every day when we're training, and we know that that's Joshua trained very hard for the fight. So did Vlad, and we can see with the movement and with there's a lot of things that we saw in that fight. We know that we can actually do better, and we know that we can catch AJ when we actually put it on display.
What did you make of Joshua? The Joshua camp contacted the
They can do whatever they want. It's not going to change a thing. He's probably trying to get advice from, someone like Klitschko. We've been in his camp sparring, but, they can do whatever they want to prepare for this fight. And if they have to reach out to people, they can reach out to people, but we'll focus and we know what we want to do.
One last one from me. Anthony Joshua did not speak to the New Zealand media or the Samoan media at his gathering a couple of days ago. Did you take that personally?
It's his decision. I think it's a little disrespectful because they've traveled a long way to come and see him, and they respect him. They respect him as a fighter and what he's achieved, but I think it's a little disrespectful. When we were in camp in Vegas, we had a lot of British media come over, and we're very friendly, and we're just being ourselves and invited them to our home, and China made them some nice food, which I was very sad to see because I was eating other food. But, I don't think it's, I think, he should just be a bit more respectful and talking to everyone that was there, and hopefully in the future he can make it better.
What do you say to anyone that calls you the Plater now?
I love pies on my off season. This camp, Kev, tell them there's been no pies whatsoever.
There's been no pies. Well, you shouldn't ask me, you should ask the cook.
Yeah. But I do enjoy a pie after the fight, so I look forward to that after, but not too many this time.
Do you get the sense that Maybe not so much on but pretty sporting public around grass. They all eat them in days.
Yeah, I think the public underestimating myself and our team and what we can do. I think they're judging us on our last 2 or 3 fights, and I think they see Joshua as a fighter who's unbeatable. So there's an element of surprise.
That must help because of motivating you that you can help surprise because all those people turn up like sorry, oh, it's an easy win.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's an easy win for him, but that's extra motivation for us. You know, like I said, this camp has been a great camp where we've done everything right. Everything's been clicking well. And it's just, I don't really want to say more. I just want to get in there and bash him.
Yeah, and let me just correct you on what you said. You said we've been fighting fighters from New Zealand. Like we've been fighting world-class fighters since very, very early in Joe's career. If you look at the resumes of Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker's resume is far stronger than Anthony Joshua's. Joshua's got 2 names on his resume. He's got Vladimir Klitschko at the age of 41, and he's got Carlos Takam, who took the fight on 12 days' notice. We have much stronger names. Believe me, when we fought Takam, we gave him 3 months' notice. When we fought the 29-0 Andy Ruiz, he had 2 months' notice. Dimitrenko, the undefeated Huey Fury that no one wants to fight. We have much better names on our resume.
Just on that point as well, Joshua was 817 days older than Joseph when he fought Takam. And coming from New Zealand, we're used to being the underdog with the British. That's the psyche that the All Blacks have over here. It's the psyche that the cricket team has over here. We're used to it, so we're not surprised.
The next question is going to be if you saw the cricket over
No, I
what's New Zealand?
It's a good sign of things to come.
Do you see that on such a good smell of things now?
What was the one? The New Zealand?
No, we're smashing them.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a good sign, isn't it? A good start.
Yeah.
That question about the Kevin or Joe. Do you give yourselves a code name for example, for this campaign other than we're fighting Anthony Joshua? Do you have a code name keeping with being here in Britain?
Oh, we definitely couldn't. We couldn't give you today the name that we call him in the gym.
And the follow-up question: could this be? We're very close to Waterloo Station here, so mystery of that. Could this be the battle of pies? Is this the battle of pies?
This will be the battle of 2 young, very hungry, undefeated world champions who are both going to make a name for themselves in this fight on March 31. There's no gimmicks around this. This is real. This is real fighting at its highest level.
Motivation, being unified champion of the world, making New Zealand and Samoa proud, my family, my team. I'm a boxer with talent that's been doing well, but I couldn't have been where I am without my team. So we've all worked hard to get here, and I just want to go out there and give it my best and put on the best performance of my life.
Very few boxers get to fight in front of 80,000 people. Great names, never, What are your thoughts about that? Do you feed off that positively, or how would you deal with that atmosphere?
Like I said before, we're very happy to be here, but we're also very excited of the challenge of fighting here in this backyard, but the challenge of fighting in front of 80,000 people. We haven't experienced that before in our career. We've experienced on a lesser scale in front of 20,000 people, but the challenge of fighting in front of 80,000 people for us is exciting because we haven't experienced it before, and we want to, we're going to embrace it. There's going to be a lot of New Zealanders there and Samoans there supporting us, and hopefully, we can look around and see them.
How do you think that crowd will react if you knock out that Joshua, that 80,000 crowd? How do you think?
Oh, I can already picture it in my head.
I think we'll hear them screaming from New Zealand.
You thought about that moment in your mind, though, and you thought, what will happen when it hits the canvas? You played that out in your mind.
I played out many scenarios in my mind, but that one in particular is the best one.
Is there a soundtrack to it?
No, I haven't really added a soundtrack yet. Just cheers. A lot of cheers.
Joe, when Anthony was asked if he liked you, he said no, he thinks you're a weird character. Do you like him, or what do you think of his character?
And I respect him, and he's a likable guy. It's very interesting that he said that, because it's very, he's sort of stepped out of his comfort zone and said something interesting. He's been boring lately, but it's good. You gotta. I think he's taking that first step, and hopefully we can see more of him. Hopefully, we can say a bit more.
Joseph, so yesterday there was a lot in the media about the UFC potentially approaching Joshua on a £500 million deal. Joshua was recently said I'm 100% interested in they could be involved in that. Do you find that disrespectful? Just thinking about changing his rules?
No, there's options for him in the future. No, if I got given that option as well, I'll listen to it and discuss. But he should be focused on March 31. Like I said, we come prepared, so he should be focused on myself. He shouldn't be focused on my team. He should be focused on what's going to happen in the ring.
So you would consider a career in the UFC potentially?
Oh no. I mean, if I was offered that that amount of money, I would say, "Hey team, let's get together."
Yeah.
A bit of a discussion, but the UFC is not my
Maybe
thing.
the rematch could be in a cage.
Yeah, how would you fancy that?
I got a lot of learning to do with UFC.
Look, I don't think he'd discuss it on the eve of the biggest fight of his career. That's the point. Publicly, too.
Just on that point, there's a lot of talk obviously about Wilder, Joshua was not been speaking about it for again, does that give me a sense of we'll just pick up this belt and make Wilder?
Yeah, like I said, I feel like they are looking past our team, but you can't really, the opinion, the public have their opinion on the fights they want to see, and if they're in discussions, so be it. I have a lot of respect for both fighters, but he's got to be careful because there's one person in his way. It's me.
In terms of a future rematch, I understand that the split of the matches in your favour. Can you have an influence on where it would happen? Could it happen in Las Vegas, for example, or would it have to be here again?
It's a rollover of a co-promotion deal, so major decisions are jointly made. So the answer is yes, we consult, and despite the banter, the two teams commercially have worked pretty well together.
So it could be in Las Vegas as well.
Potentially, but normally fights end up where they make the most economic sense. So I would have thought it would be in Europe in summer, probably outdoor, but we're not focused on that. We're only focused on Joshua.
Training at all to ensure that Joe's elbows aren't
I tell you what, the elbows are 100%. Okay, so for a start off, the best thing we did was actually getting the surgery. We haven't had to change anything around with his training. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people make a really big mistake. They put themselves in a very large fight and then they think they have to reinvent themselves. We've kept everything fairly similar to what we've done for the last 5 years. Everything that we've done that's got us here, it's a proven formula that works for Joe. I mentioned yesterday, the reason I believe that we had this problem with the elbows is when Joe first started with me, he was a very young man. He'd come straight out of the amateurs. His whole body type was different. His whole way of punching was different. He wasn't heavy-handed. He was very much fighting in an amateur style with straight legs. Then we developed Joe's size and his power. We taught him to sit down on his punches. It created a lot more of explosive power, and I think that is how the damage was done to the elbows. He still has that explosive power now, except for his body is far more inept of controlling that power and using it on a day-to-day basis. So I don't envisage any problems moving forward with the elbows. It's really, really hard to look at things in hindsight because, for one, nobody knew back in 2013 that Joseph Parker would end up being a one-punch knockout artist, that he would string knockouts together back to back to back to back. But one of the things that was mentioned to me about Joseph Parker when I first came on board was, look, here's a guy with very fast hands, can't punch hard. He doesn't knock anyone out, you know, but he could win a lot of fights on points. And then when Joe actually learnt how to pull the power from his legs and use his powerful legs to create the power and to bring it into his upper body, he started knocking guys dead. So the rest is history.
Kevin, where would you place Joe in the history of New Zealand boxing, and could you perhaps compare him to David Tua and other heavyweights?
Well, you know, we've had a very proud lot of fighters come out of New Zealand. New Zealand, for a very small country, has produced a lot of great fighters over the years. And, you know, right at this time, a lot of people are remembering David Tua when he fought Lennox Lewis back in November of 2000. And, you know, David Tua, you know, I spent 12 years with him, and one of the things that really it still aches me today is the fact that he knocked out 4 guys that wore the heavyweight belt and never wore it himself. But, you know, making the comparisons between Joseph Parker and David Tua, two totally different fighters. The obvious difference is Joseph Parker became the WBO World Heavyweight Champion. David Tua didn't become the world champion. But, you know, David Tua was 5'9.5", Joseph Parker 6'4". David Tua would continually come forward. He didn't know any other way to fight. He would, you know, Joseph Parker is a very skillful fighter with a lot of movement. They can fight on the front foot and the back foot. So they're two totally different fighters. They have similarities, the fact that they both come from Samoan heritage, and they both represented the flags of 2 countries, New Zealand and Samoa.
Joseph, if the fight goes this, so you worry that you might not get fair crack at it from the judges?
No, I'm not too worried. Our team has done a great job to get neutral, you know, officials, and you know, I believe they'll do their best to score it fairly.
David, you might have a comment.
It's the British Boxing Board this time, and we're grateful to them this time, have opted for a balanced panel approach, which Tuco and Matchroom we're both happy with. That means neutral referee from Italy, neutral judge from the United States, and 1 UK judge and 1 New Zealand judge. So at least the panel's balanced, and we have a view that this fight is so big and there's so much scrutiny on the officials that they should know they won't work again if they favour the home man, obviously.
Joseph, are you going to be lighter for this fight?
Yeah, I'm going to be a lot lighter. I think the last fight were probably 112 kgs, maybe this fight 108.
You feel better and quicker for that?
Oh yeah, faster, stronger, better movement. I'll show you March 31.
Anthony's been talking about being lighter and quicker as well. What do you think about those comments about him in the past? He's muscle bound.
You know, that's up to him, really. You know, it's if he actually trusted in his body, then he wouldn't be trying to change, you know, who he is or what he, you know, he's trying to be leaner, trying to be faster, better movement. So I don't know if he's trying to be him or me.
Joseph, this is the first time I've heard about your shoulder and elbow injury. When was that done? Was that a long time before Mr. Ikabe or just before?
The elbow surgery, it was done the end of last year when we were
November
negotiating.
25 and December 1.
You've had enough time to
100%.